اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن جابر بن عبد الله الأنصاري عن فاطمة الزهراء عليها السلام بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم قال سمعت فاطمة أنها قالت دخل علي أبي رسول الله في بعض الأيام فقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة فقلت عليك السلام. قال إني يجد في بدن ضعفا فقلت له ذك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف. فقال يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به. فآتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به وصرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه البدر في ليلة التمامه وكماله. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسن قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه. فقلت وعليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله. فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء. فأقبل حسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله أتعزن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء. فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوزي قد أذنت لك. فدخل معه تحت الكساء فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسين قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه. فقلت وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال لي يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء. ودنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه والسلام عليك يا من اختار الله أتعزن لي أن أكون معكما تحت الكساء. فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي قد أذنت لك. فدخل معهما تحت الكساء. فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عمي رسول الله. فقلت نعم ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله أتعزن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء. قال له عليك السلام يا أخي ويا وصي وخليفتي وصاحب لواء قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء ثم آتيت نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ وقال وعليك السلام يا بنت ويا بزعتي قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرفي الكساء وأما بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وهامتي لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن آداهم ومحبا لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. صلى عليه وآل محمد. فقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان السماوات إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدهية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضية ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحر يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبرائيل يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. على محمد. فقال جبرائيل يا ربي أتأذن لي أن أحبت إلى الأرض لأكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله العلي الأعلى يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدهية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء فقال لأبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم رجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. محمد وآله. فقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال نبي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة النجية ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي إذا والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال نبي ثالث يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واستفاني بالرسالة النجية ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا وفيهم محموم إلا وفرج الله همه ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غمه ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي إذا والله فزنا وسعدنا. وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة صل على محمد. سورة المباركة الفاتحة.
أفضل الصلاة محمد وآل محمد. جب خدا کو پکارا لیا گئے، جب علی آ گئے زندگی آ گئی، زندگی بندگی روشنی آ گئی، ہاں روشنی آ گئی آ گئی آ گئی. جب خدا کو پکارا لیا گئے، جب علی آ گئے زندگی آ گئی. جب خدا کو پکارا لیا گئے، جب علی آ گئے زندگی آ گئی. غسل میت نہ کہنا میرے غسل کو، اجلے ملبوس کو مت کفن نام دو. میں چلا ہوں علی سے ملاقات کو، جس کی تھی آرزو گھری آ گئی. جب خدا کو پکارا لیا گئے، جب علی آ گئے زندگی آ گئی. موت ان کے محبوں کو آتی نہیں، آ بھی جائے تو پھر بچ کے جاتی نہیں. موت کا کیا خطر، موت سے کیا حذر، اس سے بچنا بھی کیا گئی آ گئی. تیری مسند پہ غیروں کو بٹھلا دیا، نائب مصطفیٰ مظہر کبریا. تو وسیع و ولی او علی ہی رہا، منزلت میں تیری کیا کمی آ گئی. جب خدا کو پکارا لیا گئے، جب علی آ گئے زندگی آ گئی. ہم کے سرشار عشق اور تولا میں تھے، جانتے ہی نہ تھے نفرت و دشمنی. یہ تبرہ بھی واللہ کیا چیز ہے، ہم کو اغیار سے دشمنی آ گئی. یا علی مسلک عشق میں مانگنا عیب ہے، میں بھی خاموش ہوں وہ بھی خاموش ہے، ان کو سب ہے خبر اس لیے چپ ہوں میں، کیا ہوا آنکھ میں گرنمی آ گئی، جب خدا کو پکارا علی آ گئے، جب علی آ گئے زندگی آ گئی، جس کا مولا تھا میں اس کا مولا علی، جب نبی نے کہا دین کامل ہوا، مرحبا مصطفیٰ رب راضی ہوا، وہ جو آنا تھی آیت وہی آ گئی، جب خدا کو پکارا علی آ گئے، جب علی آ گئے زندگی آ گئی، پر محمد و آل محمد صلوات، اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل at the loudest of your voices. نعرہ حیدری یا علی، حیدری یا علی، درود بھیجئے محمد و آل محمد. آل غم سنائیں گے جب امام آئیں گے، زخم دل دکھائیں گے جب امام آئیں گے، حال غم سنائیں گے جب امام آئیں گے، محفل جمائیں گے جب امام آئیں گے، بامدر سجائیں گے جب امام آئیں گے، جشن ہم منائیں گے جب امام آئیں گے، جشن ہم منائیں گے جب امام آئیں گے، زخم ہے ابھی تازہ مکہ اور مدینہ کے، شام و کوفہ کرب و بلا ہم بھلا نہیں سکتے، از سقیفۃ غیر سے نہیں پہنچے، جتنے دکھ اٹھائے ہیں ہم نے کلمہ گویوں سے، ایک ایک چکائیں گے، ایک ایک چکائیں گے جب امام آئیں گے، حال غم سنائیں گے جب امام آئیں گے، شک ہے جن کو اللہ کے عدل اور عدالت پر، منصب نبوت پر، سیدہ کی عصمت پر، مرتضیٰ کی احمد سے مختصر نیابت پر، جن کو شک ہے بارہ پر، بارہ مروے کی غیبت پر سب ہی مار کھائیں گے، سب ہی مار کھائیں گے جب امام آئیں گے۔ نام پر صحابہ کے کام کافروں جیسے، نام پر صحابہ کے کام فاسقوں جیسے، نام پر صحابہ کے کام منکروں جیسے، نام پر صحابہ کے کام مشرکوں جیسے، سب ہی منہ چھرائیں گے، سب ہی منہ چھرائیں گے جب امام آئیں گے۔ دعوی محبت جو صبح و شام کرتے ہیں، ان کے دشمنوں سے بھی رو رسم رکھتے ہیں، خمس بھی نہیں دیتے، غیبتیں بھی کرتے ہیں، مومنوں سے بھی دل میں بغض و کینہ رکھتے ہیں، کس طرح نبھائیں گے، کس طرح نبھائیں گے جب امام آئیں گے۔ الاجل جو کہتے ہیں آ گئے تو کیا ہوگا، کیا ہے اپنی تیاری پیش ہم کریں گے کیا، سبت جعفر اپنا تو کل یہی ہے سرمایہ، ہم دونوں تو سوز و سلام اور منقبت نوحہ ہم یہی سنائیں گے، ہم یہی سنائیں گے جب امام آئیں گے۔ حال ہم سنائیں گے جب امام آئیں گے۔
صلوات علی محمد و آل محمد۔
Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Sayyid Hasan, Rizvi, respected elders, dearest brothers and sisters in Iman, Assalamu alaikum jami wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. For the love of our first holy Imam, Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, with the loudest of your voices, Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Surah Fatiha is requested for all marhumeen listed on the screen, as well as all other marhumeen. Surah al-Mubarak al-Fatiha. Dua Shfa Mary's is requested for all those in need here and elsewhere, as well as those listed on the screen. Let us recite together. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ 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 أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ. Ya Allah. Let us now invite Sayyid Hasan Rizvi to please come forward for tonight's Majalis. Wa Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. والحمد لله رب العالمين. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. ثم الصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين. ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الأولين والآخرين إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. Mu'mineen, mu'minat, brothers and sisters in Islam and Iman, salamun alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Tonight, of course, the 13th of Rajab, where we come together and we celebrate the birth anniversary of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Mawlud Kaaba, Ali ibn Abi Talib, alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Oh, that was fast. Okay, good. So, when we're celebrating the birth of the Imam, you would expect, people to come together and praise and celebrate his fada'il and his characteristics. And, everybody should be in a good mood, right? All Muslimin should be, happy because of this. Instead, sometimes we, lovers of Amir al-Mu'mineen, we get accused. And we get targeted because of our love for Amir al-Mu'mineen. And it's not just the fact that we love the Imam. It's the specific position that we put him in. And people kind of accuse us like this. They say, you've taken Ali ibn Abi Talib and you have made him number one, and you've put everybody else second. You've made everybody else secondary. They say, what is this, right? It's Allah first, then the Prophet. Okay, fine, if you want to do some Sahaba, throw them in there too, and then Imam Ali. Why are you doing it like this? Even Shias nowadays, they don't like this, right? They're like, no, why are you giving so much attention to Imam Ali? No, keep others first. Keep Allah first, keep the Prophet first, then you can talk about Imam Ali. Why are you keeping him as number one and everybody else second, third, fourth, fifth? Well, there's two types of replies here. One of them is that just because something is first doesn't mean that it's considered more important and more valuable than other things. And the second is, well, we do put him first, but it's not our choice. We didn't put him ahead as number one. It was Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allah and the Prophet, they're the ones who pushed him forward and said that he's number one, not us. So we were just following, what they told us to do. That's what we're trying to do. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, we can start from a very obvious point, and then we can move on to maybe a bit of a deeper point. If you were to look at the most important month in the Islamic calendar, for all Muslims, then obviously we would say Shahr Ramadan, right? That is the month of spirituality. That's the month where everybody, wujuban, it's wajib for us to purify ourselves. You have no choice, right? Unless you want to, do haram for 30 days. Otherwise, 29, 30 days, it's pure self-purification, right? That month, the month of the ummah, the month where everybody's supposed to give up, to destroy their ego, destroy their nafs, disconnect from the dunya, to move closer and closer towards Allah through fasting, right? And through the various ibadat which take place in that month. Nobody would deny that is the month where, if you're going to get spiritual, that's when it happens. And Allah has deemed it the most important month. That's why He's made it wajib for the Muslims to fast there. All right, so no Muslim would deny that. Yeah, that's the best month. That is the most spiritual month. But we say, okay, but that's wajib. How do you prepare for the wajibat? In order to prepare for the month of Ramadan, before that you have the month of Sha'ban, which we say is the shahr of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Sha'ban is his month. They say if somebody wants to prepare themselves for Ramadan, then they have to spend their time in Sha'ban watering this plant, right? Getting ready so that they can prepare themselves for that month of fasting. So in order to get closer to Allah, you have no choice but to go through the Prophet in his month. You want the month of Allah, you need to go through the month of the Prophet. Said, okay, fine. Well, we didn't pick the spiritual calendar. We didn't decide when Ramadan comes. We didn't design when Sha'ban comes. And we didn't design how to get towards Allah. Allah's saying, you want to get to me, you need to go through the Prophet. His month is going to come first. We said, no problem then. In order to get to Sha'ban, what do you have to do first? In order to get to Sha'ban, in order to get to Rasulullah, you have the month of Rajab. And everybody agrees, Sunni and Shia both agree that in order to prepare yourself for Sha'ban, you have to go and prepare yourself in the month of Rajab. And that's why I say, well then fine, it's not us who decided who comes first. It was Allah and the Prophet that said the month of Rajab, the month of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib, is going to come first. So in order to prepare yourself to get to Allah, you have Sha'ban, you have the Prophet. In order to get to Ramadan, you have Sha'ban first. In order to prepare yourself to get to Sha'ban, to get to the Prophet, you have to go through Ali ibn Abi Talib. There is no other way to do it. And that's why they say Rajab is when you plant that seed, Sha'ban is when you water it, and then Ramadan is when you allow it to grow. Right? That's when the fruits of your labor come there. So your Ramadan can only be spiritual if your Sha'ban is spiritual. Your Sha'ban is only going to be spiritual if your Rajab is spiritual. And we didn't decide on the 13th of Rajab he was going to be born. It's not us. It was Allah who wanted him to be born in the Kaaba, not us. So this priority, this sibqat has been decided by Allah and His Prophet, not by the mu'mineen. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So that's in terms of one way of looking at even the way the months are designed. Okay, well, what about beyond that? Not just about months, but what would we call the single most important type of ibadah? What is the most powerful ibadah that exists amongst Muslims? Sujood, ahsan. There's nothing more powerful than sujood. You can take all the du'as, all the ziyarat, anything else you want, but nothing will ever compare to the position of sujood. Everybody agrees. That is the most, spiritual position someone can be in. That is the ibadah that insan was designed for. To be in that place where they're humbling themselves, lowering themselves, right, in front of Allah. And this is perhaps why we have this famous narration from Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Where he's reported to have said, Atilu sujood. Prolong and lengthen your sujood. Be in the position of sujood longer. فَمَا مِنْ عَبَلٍ أَشَدَّ عَلَى إِبْلِيسِ. There's nothing that is worse and harsher for Iblis than this sujood. مِنْ أَنْ يَرَى إِبْنَ آدَمْ سَاجِدًا. Iblis hates to see human beings doing sujood. He hates it. And it's obvious why. لِأَنَّهُ أُمِرَ بِالسُّجُودِ فَعَصَى. Because this same ibadah was what he was told to do. He was told and he sinned and he failed. So where he failed, then Allah says, then you, insan, you must succeed. He refused to prostrate. He refused to go into that sujood. He was a kafir, refused to humble himself in front of Allah and even in front of insan. So we said, okay, no problem. You don't want to do it, we'll do that. You failed the imtihan, then we'll pass the imtihan. Amir al-Mu'mineen saying, then you increase that sujood over and over and over and break the back of shaitan. Now, what does this have to do with what we're talking about? Well, if it is, objectively speaking, the greatest type of ibadah you can do, there's technically only 5 times a day where it's wajib for us to do that, outside if somebody recites, the ayat, which are, it's a wajib sujood. Forgetting that, when we're praying, that's the only time sujood becomes wajib, right? And it's a rukn for salah too. Now, this most important ibadah, if it's so important, and things which are the most important must come first, well, you tell me, is sujood in the beginning of the salah, or does it come towards the end of each rak'ah? It's towards the end. It's not at the beginning, right? You have to go through takbiratul ihram, you have to go through the qira'at of the Quran, you go through ruku, and then finally you end up at sujood, right after all this. Okay, so I'm getting a request. I think we're filling up towards the back, so if you can stand up or slide, whatever you want, move a bit more closer to the front, and pretend like you're moving closer to Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli. I mean, I am his descendant, so you're kind of moving closer to him in a sense, I guess, right? Allahumma salli. Okay, one more real salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala. Okay. So, greatest act of ibadah, sujood. To be in sajda. Why? Iblis hates it. Shaitan hates it because that's where he failed. And we then show him that no, we will succeed over and over and over again. Now, remember, we are being called out. Said, look, you're making Ali first. Therefore, you Shia must believe that he's better than everything else and everybody else. We said, no, that's not necessarily true. We do put him first, but that doesn't mean that he's more important than everybody and everything else. Said, okay, so we gave one example of, Allah put Rajab first. Now we're looking at this. Sujood is the greatest act, the greatest type of ibadah you can do. Even that does not come first in salah. Even that's towards the end. So it doesn't necessarily mean the first thing that happens or the first thing you're talking about or performing is the most important, the most valuable thing. Sometimes it comes later on. And it's the case of sujood, that's the case. However, when we're talking about preliminaries and things that become before it, then it shows you the importance of the next act. To get to sujood requires some preliminaries and muqaddamat. You don't just get to sujood in salah and that's it. If it was so important, then somebody would say, all right, I'm just going to start my salah in sujood. Well, that's not how it works. You don't earn and you don't get the right to perform sujood unless you have earned the right to perform sujood. You don't get the right to go towards Allah unless you have passed through a few certain stages. And this is where we see our 6th Imam, Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam has said, فِي الرُّكُوعِ adab. In ruku', which obviously is before the sujood, there's adab. There's an etiquette. Right? This is your preliminary step now. وَفِي السُّجُودِ قُرْبٍ. In that position of sujood, that's where you get that qurb and that closeness to Allah. So if you want that closeness to Allah, you're looking for that spirituality, you're trying to humble yourself, you can't get there without the proper adab in ruku'. And this is what our ulama say as well too. And the ulama who comment on the secrets, the asrar of salah, they say, the only time your sujood is truly accepted and truly is meaningful is if your ruku is powerful too. Your ruku is basically that sort of opening, right? Almost like a greeting, and if accepted, then the door opens and you're allowed to then go down into sujood and offer that salam to Allah, so to speak. You don't get to that greatest ibadah unless you're able to perform the adab and adab properly within ruku. Okay? Imam continues, وَمَنْ لَا يَحْسُنُ الْأَدَبِ لَا يَصْلُحُ لِلْقُرْبِ. If you don't beautify that adab, if your ruku is not beautified, if it's not done properly, then there's no sulh, there's no harmony, there's no beauty. You're not going to get that qurbatan ilallah. It's not going to happen. No matter what you do and what dhikr you decide to write in sujood, if your ruku had a mistake, then the next part's going to be a mistake too. So you say, okay. Then, the same exact way, you can do whatever you want in trying to claim that I'm close to the Prophet, that I follow the sunnah of the Prophet, I'm following in the footsteps of the Prophet. But if the Prophet himself is saying, yes, I am, ana madinatul ilm, fine. But he's saying, you can't just get to me the way that you want to. He says, ana madinatul ilm wa ali babuha. If you want to come through, this is the only way you're going to be able to get through me. If you want that qurb, you want that sujood, then Ali is the ruku. There's no other way to get to me. And it's funny because, when you look at this analogy, right? People obviously, especially the, certain companions back then, they saw how this analogy was so powerful, right? They couldn't get rid of something like this. You can't just erase the fada'il of Ali. It was impossible. You can't mimic and copy that same analogy either, right? Because when Allah and the Prophet are revealing the fada'il of Ali, they know that nobody else has these fada'il too. But they did try to copy. And they did try to take little bits here and there and say, yeah, we're also like this too. So when the Prophet is saying, Ana madinatul ilm wa aliun babuha, that Ali is the gate to get there, then they said, okay, let's see if we can start to, fit ourselves into this madinatul ilm somehow too. And this is where you see all these random made-up hadith on the subject too. So-and-so, and you see how their hadith make no sense too. They say, okay, yes, the Prophet is the city of knowledge. Ali is the gate, and so-and-so is the wall. Like, so-and-so is the wall? What do you mean he's the wall? And that makes sense too. Why? Because a wall blocks you from getting to where you need to go. That's why we don't have to do that. And of course, these same individuals, walls made sense for them too. Because a wall is supposed to block you from getting where you need to go. Right? That fence, that security. It doesn't allow people in. And this is why these same individuals, they had to climb over people's walls and spy on them and things like that, right? This is the sunnah that they were following. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. One more salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Ali is the gate. He's the door. Meaning, if you are ready to come and access the gate, access the knowledge of the Prophet, then I'll let you in. You have to pass through me. So he is opening and closing that door for whoever has the adab and adab and is worthy to come and meet and be within the makan of Rasulullah. That's what a door is for. It's to open and close to allow people in. No, a wall is not meant for something like that. But you see, the analogy breaks down. It doesn't make sense for them. But they tried their best to fit that in. And there's so many other varieties of this too. They say, so-and-so is the window. Like, what do you mean the window? Like they're spying and like trying to stalk the Prophet? Like what are they doing? So-and-so is the emergency exit. So-and-so is the fireplace. Like, okay, those hadith make sense. Because so-and-so individuals were like the fireplace and the escape because every time they're in battle, they had to run away and escape too. So that's why they're the exact same analogy. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So we are not the ones saying, yes, we're putting Ali ahead of everybody else. Allah and His Prophet are saying, yes, Ali has to come first. Because everything else, the important stuff, to get to Tawheed, you need Nubuwah. There is no other way to Tawheed except through Nubuwah. And then they accentuate and say, look, the only way to get through Nubuwah is Wilayah of the Ahlul Bayt. The only way to get to that Prophet and to understand the value of it and the maqam of it is if you go through Imamat. There is no other way to do so. You can try and go this way and that way. You can try to be spiritual in Ramadan. Without Sha'ban, it won't happen. Without Rajab, your Sha'ban doesn't happen. In the same way, we said that your sujood is impossible. It doesn't have value unless your ruku and your adab is there. So if the same thing for Amir al-Mu'mineen, he is there, and the reason he's first is because you need this weed out process. You need to have this sort of stop. You need to have this adab and adab to be able to access the Prophet. Right? If you want that rahmatun lil alameen, you need to know who is worthy of this rahmah. And this is why we say Ali is the qasim bain al-jannat wal nar. He is the one standing at the door saying, look, I can tell you, he's the doorman, he's the gatekeeper. He's the one saying who is allowed in and who's not. Because he is that fine line in determining who is really after that Madinatul Ilm, who's really after Rasulullah, and who is therefore after Tawheed and Allah. Anybody else, whatever they want to try to do, fine. Maybe you'll get, small parts of Islam. Maybe you'll get some bits of truth, but you'll never get the full thing. Because Ali not only is at the beginning, but he's also the end too. In famous narration, he says that Ana al-awwal wal-akhir. Now some people they go crazy with this one too. Say awwal and akhir, these are Allah's names, this is shirk, what's going on over here? He said, calm down. When the Ahlul Bayt speak in this language, they're talking about being manifestations of Allah's names. Right? They're not claiming to be Allah, come on. When he's saying that I am the first and the last, the first is because you want to get to the Prophet, then I'm the first step you have to go through. I was the first Muslim. I was the first one to submit to his risala. I'm the first one to recognize the nubuwah and all of this. So if you want to understand that, then you're going to have to come through me. That's how it's going to work. Okay, then how is he's the last? How is Ali the last too? How can it be the first and the last? Well, it's simple. Al-yawm akmaltu lakum dinakum. If you're going to start with Ali, you have to end with him too. There is no other way that deen can be completed. If you didn't have him in the beginning, you're not going to have him at the end. You need to have both Ali surrounding the Prophet. The way he was protecting him constantly, he's almost like this parentheses around Islam. If you want to get to Islam, true Islam, you want to get to Allah, you want to get to the Prophet, then the only way is through Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam. So on this day where we celebrate his birth, we remember that with all of these different fada'il that are there, this is something that we say is exclusive to Ali. Imam Ali, the one born in the Kaaba, the one who they say was the first member of Banu Hashim from both sides of his family. Right? All of this fada'il only lies within Ali. So don't blame the lovers of Ali. Don't blame the Shi'as for putting him first and last, because this is the way that Islam has laid it out. And Islam has done that very specifically. Because many of us know Islam is a religion of, let me say, people who have aql. Right? People who use their intellects. When you use your aql, this is for, the aql is used to help make things which may not be completely obvious. To somebody who has an aql, it becomes obvious. Now, that's another point that maybe we can discuss on another night, inshallah ta'ala. Let's go forward with our Slido quiz. If you can send a salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Okay, let's see who we have tonight. We have Ali alayhi salam is the gate. Sabi Mai. Ya Ali Mushkil Kusha. Break the wall. Very nice. Only one way. Sakina Hasan SD. Hamisi Panda Muhammad Abbas Bande Khuda Qambar. RJ Gate Zahra Ali. KQ Material Growl Haidar. Let's see who else we have. Diuji Abbas Sulaiman Mahmoud Wilayat. Man Kuntu Mawla Asant Maryam Mohogo. Hello, HIC for life. Truth Seeker, Lion of Allah, Asant. Oh, come on. Why do you guys keep doing this? Okay, now I have to jump here. Let's see, who do we have? Common Imam Ali W. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Who else do we have? Fatima A. SM Amar Ali. Cookie TJ. Kristops is back. PSSMR. The Qasim's bro? Qasim's bro? Oh. Okay. Specialist MM Hadi. Last of Us. Yeah, Last of Us. If you're talking about the show, first 2 episodes were pretty good. Last one was a little bit too LGB for me. Maryam, Ya Haidar. And yet, if you saw it, you understand what I'm talking about. Enzo Fernandez, Raza, Jalebi Baby, Lego Masters. Oh my God. Oh, there's some interesting people tonight. Okay, let's get started. Good luck to everybody. Let's see how much you know about your Imam. Which corner of the Kaaba opened up for Fatima bint Asad and is still cracked to this day? Is it Rukn al-Yamani, Rukn al-Iraqi, Rukn al-Shami, or Rukn al-Aswad? What is the name of that corner which cracked open, which allowed for Fatima bint Asad to go in, where Imam Ali was born, and to this day, no matter how much they try to cover up, it's still cracked and will always be cracked? Asant, Rukn al-Yamani, Asant. Number 2. How long did Fatima bint Asad stay in the Kaaba? Was it 5 hours, 14 hours, 3 days, or 1 week? How long was she in there while she was delivering our beloved Imam. MashaAllah. Most of you got this. She was there for, most reports say, 3 days. Which of these is not a kunya of Imam Ali alayhi salam? Abu al-Hasan, Abu al-Hussein, Abu Turab, Abu al-Rayhanatain, or none of the above? Meaning all of them are kunyas. Which of these is not a kunya of Imam Ali? Uh-oh. Most of you haven't heard it before, but Abu al-Rayhanatain is actually one of his kunyas. So is Abu al-Sibtain, another one that we don't really hear too much. So all of these are his kunyas. Yeah, none of the above probably was a weird way to put it, but you know what I mean. Vatican City is what? A city, a territory, a province, or a country? The Vatican City. I mean, it says city right there, so maybe I give it away. Or maybe it's a trick, you don't know. And it was a trick because it's not a city. The Vatican City is a country with its own set of rules. Yeah. That's right. It's an actual country in Europe. Okay, let's see. Specialist, congratulations. 4 out of 4, 21 seconds. Wow, really fast on the trigger. Very good. Gate, 4 out of 4. I mean, technically you should be number 1 gate, but you're number 2. Whatever. 31 seconds. Tied for second place, only one way. Well, I guess there's only one way, which is the gate, but both of you got second place, 31 seconds. Mahmoud, good job, 3rd place, 4 out of 4. Very nice, 40 seconds. And Ya Ali Mushkil Kusha, 4 out of 4. Well, you should have called Ali more and would have gotten you maybe to 1st, 2nd, or 3rd place. Maybe next time, inshallah. And Eid and Kushali Mubarak to all of you. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala Ahl Baytihi at-Tayyibin at-Tahirin.
Before we move on with tonight's Qasida, I'd like to invite our President, Brother Mahmoud Dalla, to please come forward and address the community. Bar Muhammad wa al Muhammad salawat.
I was like half a second out to win that slide. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. My dear sisters and brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On this auspicious day of the birth of Amirul Mu'mineen, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, on behalf of the Management Committee and the Board of Trustees, I would like to wish you all Kushali Mubarak. I wanted to give you a quick update on Project Orange. Since October of last year, 2 major things occurred with Project Orange. First, we were presented with an opportunity when a piece of land that was twice the size of the current land in an equally good location near our current site came on sale, and we were able to negotiate a price similar to our current property. We jumped on this opportunity and put the property on contract. After a lot of due diligence and meeting with the county, we were told that while everything else was great about the land, the fact that this land was part of a protected area came with a lot of stringent conditions that may pose a risk for us if we were to pursue it further. One such condition that was especially a deciding factor was the amount of building space that was allowed per acre in this protected area that the property was part of. We would have to shrink our building substantially, which would defeat the purpose. As such, we decided to let go of it and return our full attention to the Orange Avenue site. Secondly, right around the same time, the engineering company that we were using went through a major change, and the entire local civil engineering department that was serving our project was shut down. This brought our engineering plans and submission to a complete halt. Over the 3 months, we have engaged the firm to resolve our matter. Sufficing to say, we have resolved it with no loss to HIC. We have now finally found and engaged a new engineer. Our new engineer has gone through all the previous plans and the previous county feedback and is currently preparing all the changes that the county had requested previously to resubmit. Unfortunately, this also means that he will have to redo all the work as he has to sign off on the new plans. I'm in touch with the county officials and have requested a meeting to introduce our new engineer and discuss how we can expedite the finalization of our site plan approval. According to our new engineer, he feels that we were very close, so we should be able to close soon, inshallah. Making forward progress every day, one step at a time, is how we reach our goal, inshallah. Since all the known factors are being addressed, and we have the engineers in place proceeding with the final stretch, this is the right time for us to now purchase the land. Inshallah, we have set a closing date for purchase of the property by 24th of February of this year. What better day to purchase the land that will be the next home of Husseini Islamic Center than the birthday of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Based on the amount we have currently in the bank and forecasted engineering costs over the next quarter, we need around $800,000 to be able to close on the property. Alhamdulillah, we have secured $600,000 from our donors who have pledged before. Salawat. Ala Muhammad wa ali. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless them and their families for their generosity. We therefore need an additional $200,000 to close on this property in the next couple of weeks. This is where we need the community to come forward. Let's all do our parts and donate so we can acquire the land to our new home by the deadline that we have. Don't let this opportunity to earn thawab jariyah go by, especially on such an auspicious day. At this juncture, I'm also pleased to announce that we are forming the fundraising committee for Project Orange. This committee will be headed by Brother Ali Raza Manekia from the Board of Trustees and assisted by Brother Riyaz Jivraj from the Management Committee. They will be forming the team and creating the entire strategy for fundraising going forward. They will be reaching out to you to ask for your assistance in this committee. At the same time, if you feel passionate about fundraising and would like to spend the time to assist, please reach out to either Brother Ali Raza or Brother Riyaz to be considered. Sisters and brothers, this is a big milestone. Let us pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that for the sake and barakah of the one whose birthday we are celebrating today, he helps us to achieve this milestone and helps us through the rest of our journey of building our new home, so our future generations can continue remembering him. Please do not wait for someone to come and ask you to donate towards this cause. You know our target amount and our deadline. Please come forward tonight and donate in the name of our Mawla, Amirul Mu'mineen, the King of Najaf, La Fata illa Ali, La Saifa illa Zulfikar, Nare Haidari. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي جعلنا من المتمسكين بولاية أمير المؤمنين. Ali, my words fail me as my pen I lift With which eloquence can I talk about God's greatest gift? How can I use words when you are the master of words, peak of eloquence, praised by the Lord of the worlds? Should I use illustrations? Should I use illustrations for Subhana man sawwar, for he designed Ali, the quencher at Kawthar? Maybe I should describe his virtues, but how can one poem contain the one whose single strike was better than Thaqalain? Maybe his conquest in battle is a good place to begin. Khandak, Badr, or perhaps Khaybar, wherein he declared that I am the one whose mother named him Haydar. I am the one whose mother named him Haydar. No match for me is this door of Khaybar. Khaybar's door is no match for the city of knowledge's gate. In front of Ali, it's no more than featherweight. But his conquests in battle are too many to recount, so we're back to square one with nothing to account. Ali, Ali. As Fatima bint Asad came amidst the people so packed, the Kaaba knew Ali was to be born, so in humility it cracked. As Fatima bint Asad came amidst the people so packed, the Kaaba knew Ali was to be born, so in humility it cracked. Make way for this admirable mother, for this child to be born is not like any other. For this is Ali, the true wali, the brother of Nabi that set Islam free, and by Allah's decree, he and the Prophet love Ali and Ali loved them wholeheartedly. Ya Ali. So how can it be that they refute he is the wali, when on a day like Ghadir it was so clear to see that whomsoever I am the master, his master is Ali. Ali, Ali, your name rolls off the tongue of your servant. I serve you, and with me serve you, God's true servants. I serve Ali, and enlightened becomes my dark grave. With his light illuminated, from doom I'm saved. O Munkar and Nakir, leave this servant to be. O Munkar and Nakir, leave this servant to be. For in his lifetime he visited Ali. And the king of Najaf doesn't forget those that recite his praise. On the day of judgment, their station he will raise. And today is his day, so let the birds all chirp, for they sing his praises and curse those who usurp. With what words do I explain the joy in my heart? With what words do I explain the joy in my heart? For my smile speaks volumes. With words do I need to start? When the dome of Najaf seems worlds apart, when the dome of Najaf seems worlds apart, my words are Ali, the name I knew from the start. My heart pumps the three letters that make his name. My sanity after loving Ali became insane. My heart pumps the three letters that make his name. My sanity after loving Ali became insane. Call me abyss, but this world is mundane were it not for the love of Ali. This world is mundane were it not for the love of Ali. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Before I begin, Shali Mubarak to everybody here. With the loudest of your voices, let Mawla hear your voices tonight. Let him hear it all the way in Najaf. Nare Haydari! Before we begin, just a couple of words of poetry in honor of Hazrat Abbas alayhi salam. मांगने वालों के دل کو یہ یقین ہے عباس مانگنے والوں کے دل کو یہ یقین ہے عباس
نہیں کہنا تیرا دستور یہی ہے عباس مانگنے والوں کے
سے خوشبوئے وفا آ رہی ہے دروں دیوار سے خوشبوئے وفا ایسا لگتا ہے کہ اس وقت یہی ہے عباس مانگنے والوں کے محمد وآل محمد صلوات یہ مولا علی ہے یہ مولا علی ہے یہ مولا علی ہے یہ مولا علی ہے یہ مولا
Everyone together, everyone knows this, everyone knows this here.
مولا علی ہے یہ مولا علی ہے سب مل کے یہ مولا علی ہے 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 یہ مولا علی مولا علی مولا علی ہے یہ 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 مولا علی مولا علی مولا علی ہے یہ مولا علی ہے یہ مولا علی ہے یہ مولا علی ہے یہ مولا علی ہے ہمت تھی ایک اس میں درے خیبر کو کھارے انتر کو کرے زیر تو مرحب کو پھچارے گہوار میں لیٹے ہوئے اجگر کو بھی پھارے ڈوبے ہوئے سورج کو جو مغرب سے ابھارے یہ کون عجائب کا مظہر کون ولی ہے یہ مولا علی مولا علی مولا علی ہے یہ 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 مولا علی ہے کعبے سے امامت کی کرن پھوٹ رہی ہے ہلچل ہے ملائک میں کہ صف ٹوٹ رہی ہے کفار و منافق کی کمر ٹوٹ رہی ہے مکے کی زمین در نجاف لوٹ رہی ہے قدسی کی صدا دا وفا مولا علی ہے یہ مولا علی ہے یہ مولا علی ہے جو یا علی یہ مولا علی ہے یہ مولا علی ہے
یہ مولا علی ہے یہ مولا علی ہے ہجرت کی رات جان محمد پہ بنی ہے ایک جان ہے خطرے میں تو ایک جان بچی ہے
بستر پہ ہے کوئی کوئی ہمراہ نبی ہے دشمن یہ سمجھتے ہیں کہ چادر میں نبی ہے
یہ کون ہے بستر پہ جو ہم شکل نبی ہے یہ مولا علی مولا علی مولا علی ہے
یہ یا علی علی حیدر جو یا علی یہ مولا علی ہے یہ مولا علی ہے یہ مولا علی ہے
اللہ کا ولی لم یزلی مولا علی ہے احمد کا وسیع کش کے ولی مولا علی ہے
خیبر کا غنی ناد علی مولا علی ہے محشر کا شفیع نور جلی مولا علی ہے
کہتا ہے تقی ہاں وہی سخیوں کا سخی ہے یہ مولا علی مولا علی مولا علی ہے یہ مولا علی ہے
یہ مولا علی ہے یہ مولا علی ہے یہ مولا
اللهم صل على. Tonight is a celebration of Imam Ali. Just a couple of words though in honor of Imam Hussein. This one is about Imam Hussein in his cradle and the relationship and how each of the five Panjatan approached the situation. So just try and follow a little bit as much as you can.
So inshallah the first verse is Imam Hussein and Imam Hussein and Imam Hasan. The second Imam Ali and Imam Hussein. The third Prophet Muhammad and Imam Hussein. And the last ending with the Lady of Light and Hasan Imam Hussein. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. عرش کوثر میں اب نہایا ہے عرش کوثر میں اب نہایا ہے فاطمہ نے بھی سر جھکایا ہے عرش کوثر میں اب نہایا ہے فاطمہ نے بھی سر جھکایا ہے مصطفیٰ مرتضیٰ رکوع میں ہے کیونکہ شبیر آج آیا ہے عرش کوثر میں اب نہایا ہے فاطمہ نے بھی سر جھکایا ہے مصطفیٰ مرتضیٰ رکوع میں ہے کیونکہ شبیر آج آیا ہے دیکھ کر دل مسکرایا ہے دیکھ کر دل ہے مسکرایا ہے ہر طرف نور کیسا چھایا ہے دیکھ کر دل ہے مسکرایا ہے ہر طرف نور کیسا چھایا ہے جسم شبیر آج جھولے میں لا الہ خون میں سمایا ہے عرش کوثر میں اب نہایا ہے
فاطمہ نے بھی سر جھکایا ہے، مصطفیٰ مرتضیٰ رکوع میں ہے، کیونکہ شبیر گاج آیا ہے۔
ذرا پلکیں اٹھائیے بھیا، آیتوں نے طواف کرنا ہے۔
ذرا پلکیں اٹھائیے بھیا، آیتوں نے طواف کرنا ہے۔ تیرے جھولے کی کبریائی نے آج فطر اس کو معاف کرنا ہے، آج فطر اس کو معاف کرنا ہے۔
یہ سوالات ہیں انبیاء نے سنو، اپنا دامن یہاں پھیلایا ہے۔ وقت ہے اب تیری زیارت کا،
میں نے گھر میں خدا بلایا ہے۔
عرش کوثر میں اب نہایا ہے۔
لوح کرسی قلم کی خالق پر ساری مخلوق کا یقین ہے تو۔
لوح کرسی قلم کی خالق پر ساری مخلوق کا یقین ہے تو۔
تیری قدموں کی استجاری ہے،
واللہ خیر الرازقین ہے تو۔
واللہ خیر الرازقین ہے تو۔ لم یولد کی قسم علی نے تمہیں اپنے سینے سے جب لگایا ہے۔ لم یولد
ہے خدا کے چہرے میں،
آج اپنے بدن کو پایا ہے۔
عرش کوثر میں اب نہایا ہے۔ درود بھیجے محمد و آل محمد صلوات۔ مقبول کسی کا بھی تولا نہیں ہوگا، کیوں؟ مقبول کسی کا بھی تولا نہیں ہوگا، مقبول کسی کا بھی تولا نہیں ہوگا،
مقبول کسی کا بھی تولا نہیں ہوگا، مقبول کسی کا بھی تولا نہیں ہوگا۔ محفل میں اگر آج تبرہ نہیں ہوگا،
محفل میں اگر
آج تبرہ نہیں ہوگا،
اور ایسا نہیں ہوگا، نہیں ہوگا، نہیں ہوگا،
اور ایسا نہیں ہوگا، نہیں ہوگا، نہیں ہوگا، اور ایسا نہیں ہوگا، نہیں ہوگا، نہیں ہوگا۔ مولا تیرا دشمن کبھی سچا نہیں ہوگا،
مولا تیرا دشمن کبھی سچا
نہیں ہوگا۔
دفنا دو اسے ہنس کے یہ کہنے لگے حیدر،
دفنا دو اسے ہنس کے یہ کہنے لگے حیدر، دفنا دو اسے ہنس کے یہ کہنے لگے حیدر۔ یہ سبز تو محشر میں بھی زندہ نہیں ہوگا،
یہ سبز تو محشر میں بھی زندہ
نہیں ہوگا۔
اصغر نے زباں کھولی تو اے شام کے لشکر، ہاں
اصغر نے زباں کھولی تو اے شام کے لشکر، اصغر نے زباں کھولی تو اے شام کے لشکر۔ پھر رن میں کوئی بولنے والا نہیں ہوگا،
پھر رن میں کوئی بولنے والا
نہیں ہوگا۔
نبیوں سے بڑھا دیں گے اسے صفت پیمبر،
نبیوں سے بڑھا دیں گے اسے صفت پیمبر، نبیوں سے بڑھا دیں گے اسے صفت پیمبر۔ یہ
ہر کے فرشتوں نے بھی سوچا نہیں ہوگا، یہ ہر کے فرشتوں نے بھی سوچا نہیں ہوگا، آنسو کے عوض خلد نہیں کربلا بھیجو، آنسو کے عوض خلد نہیں کربلا بھیجو، آنسو کے عوض خلد نہیں کربلا بھیجو، ہم سے غم شبیر کا سودا نہیں ہوتا، مقبول کسی کا بھی تولا نہیں ہوگا، محمد و آل محمد صلوات۔ ناگر بطول کا جلتا، ناگر بطول کا جلتا نا کربلا ہوتی، ناگر بطول کا جلتا نہ 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 کربلا ہوتی، اگر یہ تینوں ہی بچپن میں مر گئے ہوتی، محمد و آل محمد صلوات۔ میرے دل کی صدا یا حسین، میرے دل کی صدا یا حسین، سب کا ہو مرحبا یا حسین، سب پڑھو، میرے دل کی صدا یا حسین، سب کا ہو مرحبا یا حسین، میرے دل کی صدا یا حسین، سب کا ہو مرحبا یا حسین، میرے دل کی صدا یا حسین، سب کا ہو مرحبا یا حسین، اس کی نسل میں غیرت رہے گی، اس کی نسل میں غیرت رہے گی، جس نے کہا یا حسین، میرے دل کی صدا یا حسین، علی سب کا ہو مرحبا یا حسین، میرے دل کی صدا یا حسین، سب کا ہو مرحبا یا حسین، کس نور کی آمد ہوئی سجدے میں ہے فاطمہ، کس نور کی آمد ہوئی سجدے میں ہے فاطمہ، ہر دور کے یزید کا ہونے لگا خاتمہ، کرب و بلا سے آواز آئی، لو گیا یا حسین، میرے دل کی صدا یا حسین، جیو سب مل کے حیدری یا علی، سب کا ہو مرحبا یا حسین، میرے دل کی صدا یا حسین، سب کا ہو مرحبا یا حسین، مصروف ہوں غرور میں اب کوئی بھی در نہیں، مصروف ہوں غرور میں اب کوئی بھی ڈر نہیں، فطر اس کا تو سردار ہے اڑنے میں ہم سر نہیں، جبریل دیکھو میرے پروں پر اب ہے لکھا یا حسین، میرے دل کی صدا یا حسین، سب کا ہو مرحبا یا حسین، میرے دل کی صدا یا حسین، سب کا ہو مرحبا یا حسین۔ وہ ہاتھ کو جہان میں پھرنا بکھاری ہوا، اس ہاتھ میں ہر دور کا اب رزق جاری ہوا، سینے کے اوپر جب ہاتھ لے کر کہنے لگا یا حسین، میرے دل کی صدا یا حسین، سب کا ہو مرحبا یا حسین۔ تقدیر اللہم صلی اللہ علیہ محمد، تقدیر نے کروٹ ہے لی بس ایک ہی رات میں، ایمان کا سورج طلوع پھر ہو گیا ذات میں، خیمے کے در پر سر کو جھکا کر حر نے کہا یا حسین، میرے دل کی صدا یا حسین، سب یا علی، سب کا ہو مرحبا یا حسین، محمد و آل محمد صلوات۔
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا نبي الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر لحد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا حجة بن الحسن يا صاحب العصر والزمان سيدي الأمان الأمان الأمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا كعبة الإيمان. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته مع الصلوات.